Okay, when you after the Ravina Miyam Chusov, when you surrounded the Ravina from its four sides, they have the comment in the Gadri. Wait, let's publish that. When you have the Ravina Miyam Chusov, you surround him from his four sides. So Ravina surrounded him from four sides. They have the command in the Gadri. He says, give me however much I walled, because he's surrounded with four sides. Still, we wouldn't give it to him. Havli Lefi, the many cotton Brazil, give me according to the value of the cheap reeds. Loyavle wouldn't give it to him. Havli Agon Tibusa, give me the payment for my watching. Loyavle, he wouldn't give him anything. Yomachad Kam have a God's ridiculous. One day he was harvesting his decal, his date palm. Amalei the Risa said to his sharecropper, Venus said to the sharecropper, Zil Shakal Mine Kibura de Hini. Go get and grab me a kibur dehina. See Rashi says. Rabbi says, "Dafka God front nikaf the golidai to have a god maklo. It's only when the god the surrounding does the surrounding, but not when the surrounder. Runya akva Ravina. Runya was surrounded by Ravina. Down son of Hayla Ravina was forced fields to for Ravina. Savivos or Arad Mitzvah. Arba Mitzvah around his four boundaries. Shall Runya Avrunya but God when he walled them up. However, the command to give me according to what I surrounded, I walled. Kavun like Kavun, I'll leave with Rav Yosef according to Rav Yosef. Namar Kol if Mashagolis is according to everything, which is what he walled. We know however much he walled, then not so much you have to pay. The common like the Mukham common as this is how we pass, and this is proven later on. Yom Echad, the one day he was harvesting. Runya Havagad tomorrow he was gathering his tamar, harvesting them. Midakol Shabbasadosa from a palm which is in his tree. Kibur Dahini, so he told his Rebbe, grab one Ashkol Shaltamarim, a bundle of dates. Mishal Runya Ubafonov, and from Runya in front of him, try and grab a bundle from them. Kibur Dahini. Azul Lasuye, he went to go grab them. Ram Bekol and Runya screamed out his voice. Rashi's remember Garbo, Runya yelled at him, Arisa, the Ravina, the Arisa of Ravina, then yelled at him. Amalek goes to Daita, so Ravina responds, you revealed your das, Kaminach Nicholech, that you're good, you're agreeable to it. Lo Yehel Izabalma should only be like a general goat. Milo Boys Nitirusa doesn't need guarding from that. Amalek Izabalma, a general goat. La Chuye boy, you just have to yell at it. You just have to yell at it. Amalek, Vlog Haver Boys, so it's not a big deal having the whole watchman. Amalek, Vlog Haver Boys, the Method Day. Don't you need a person to yell at him? Also, the Rava came in front of Rava. Amalek Zil Pais in Pious go fees, and Rava said to him, go be appeased with what he agrees to you, and saying that you can just pay for a guy to yell. If not, I'm going to judge the din. I'll leave with Rav Yossi, like Ravuna, I'll leave with Rav Yossi, and because that's really the lacha, as Rashi says. Amalei Ravina Legal Sadaito Shaviva Shechavivin had the column Alecha that you revealed your das that you're beloved to you, the date palms. V'nikolach which also and it's nice that you're agreeable to you for their guarding. Lo Yehela easy balm just let it shouldn't be only just a goat. In general, Milo Boys doesn't need a person to watch him, a person to yell at him. Klomer Afilo Enocha Yarim and a Ganavim if you're not afraid of the Klomer means to say Zikulu Yarim and a Ganavim if you're not afraid of the thieves. The Shalman easy you have to guard it from the goats. Lav Gabber boy Lakli, you need a guy to scream at him. Lahazik Ulagor Behem to yell and to scream at them. V'yirim and to make them afraid. Mitargamin and Achli is called Achli, so I guess to cause them to be afraid that says it. Machain Kolosh and Achrazas, something you have in Lashon of announcement. Mitargam Yonasan is in the language of Targum Yonasan is Achli. Okay? And Achrazas is usually announcements. Okay, let's see what Hay does. So we changed the Lashon of Lamras Kol. Okay. Anyway, lo dainin lach Rabbi Yossi. If not, hagav. If not, no, if it's spice, man, it's spice. Total all these spice be'agad and tiras. It's good for you to be agreed with the payment to the gardener. Shneis. Total, it's good for you, Shneis. You should agree the spice to be appeased with the payment for the guarding. However, the trials of the cost since he's willing to agree with that. Hagav you look in lach Rabbi Yossi. If not, I'm going to go judge like Rabbi Yossi. Implies this halacha that you have to pay for everything. Same possible being a similar possible being a okay. Look, Ravuna leave with Rabbi Yossi. Runya Zavan, our Runya bought a place of land. A mate to the Ravina on the boundaries of Ravina. Sabra Ravina Lasaluki Ravina thought to get rid of him, or bring him, take him out. Mishum Dina the Bar Metzra because of the rule of Bar Metzra. And he says, I'm a closer boundary guy, and I should get it, and I should kick you out, and I should pay for it and get it, and you should have to leave. Amli Rav Safra Rav Yeva the Ravina, Rav Safra the son of Rav Yeva said to Ravina, Amri and she Arbro Tzela. People say 4 to the Tzela and 4 to the Tzela. Rashi says, Arbro Tzela, Dal Tzela. Ani Shema dear heard Tzela Ritzon on him that the Tzela is a poor tanner. With Tzela is Ratzon Usher is a rich usher. Is a rich tanner. And this is what he's saying. Kacham, what he was saying to him. Kikar Svichon, Arba Kisar Kar Svichon. 4 breads are needed. The Ratzon on to a poor tanner. The malachos based over the needs of his house. Liam for a day. Commotion Svichon, the usher just taking him for a rich person. Vizah Anihun, this is an Ani. This Runya. Mitzarachlo Sasade needs the field of Farnas of the Emperor's Farnasu. B'Shem Sha'asa Omelo, just like you're saying to him, Mistalag Me'alem, Medina the Bar Metzra, then go away from me, from the rules of Bar Metzra, and I get first dibs. Mishum Vasis V'Yashva Tov, and the reason for that is because there's a rule that you should do the right, which is straight and good, and you're closer, and therefore you have more need of it. It's better, it would be worth more to you, and there's no reason why he should take that. Kachan Yomalach, so too I say to you, I say Yashav Tov, do the which is straight and good. Ma'ani Zet, to this poor person, I'll distill it, and don't get rid of him. The Yesh Gamgim, and there is to ask a question on this, or Rashi saying on this shot. The Orkari would sell it because in the skin is called, or the leather is called Sela, Law Aras, and another canner. Kidamina Balmasi in general, my Dargish, what is it? Dargish Arsha the Sela is a bed of the leather, something like that. So meaning it means the leather. Bomerani Runyu Ratsanai, and I say that Runyu was actually a tanner. Valid. The Lokea Chorus Venosanor is the someone who buys skins and give them to the and we give skins to the tanner to work them. Venosanor is loved on him. Lasses Mihamadam to make them shoes. And I guess he would make the shoes. The Mochan Mashuk to sell the Mashuk. Lokea Chomelos, such is what he's saying to Rav Safra, the Ravina, Rav Safra Ravina. Ha'ani is that this poor person, Shkar Moed, he's very little scar. Shu Tzorachlit and Skar Harb, he has to give a lot of payment. Labdanim for the people who work the skin. So I'm arranging because people say Arbel Zuzi Tzorach Makacha or 4 zuz is needed for the buying of the skin. But Arbel Zuzi Skar Habdanim and 4 zuzi for the payment of the tanners. V'hainus Tzollah, and that is the Tzollah, which is the tanners. The people of Yoshev, but don't never do the right, it's good and right. But Tilo Sadazul Parnas Beso and have this field for the needs of his house. So this is a Haggah, right? This next one is a Haggah. Some say it's a linear, some say it's another Haggah. Just 1 second. Okay. Next prat. Bliner, and it seems to me, or Hagav. Dal itself, let's four for the top. And Dal means Dal Kikar Sarach, and four breads are needed for a tanner, on it, which is four. But Dal Slaw and four for a slow. Kamokin Dal the Sarach Abdun Usher. That slow means such is need so to is needed valid for the needs of a tanner which is rich. Marshal who can egg runyon, it's an example in for runya. Shahayalu Sada Achas, which had one field, the Tel Sado Sharavino, in the midst of the field of Ravina. In the Amanel as said earlier, Ravina Akba Marabu Khosa, the Ravina surrounded from four sides. The Asham Kanal on Sada Later Mesa Ravina. Now he bought a field next to the boundaries of Ravina. Umaksik Sada Ravina Bank to those, so then Ravina is making a break between his fields. There's two fields. There's about one on one side of Ravina, in the middle, and one in the outside of Ravina. Omele Rav Safra Ravina, Rav Safra saying to Ravina, Hayasha Vatova should do which is good and right, and which is straight and good. Haniach Larunya also, if they leave the Runya that field, so the Ashav, that field of now, those are in that field. The Ashav Yelo Shnaim now will have two Shekamosh Tzarach Shmir L'Shnei Zon, just Tzarach Kam Kinachal, just like you need guarding for two fields, you need the same for one. So meaning it's cheaper because you can just send one guard and you can look two places. And anyway, you would need the one guard to guard the one field, so you're saving. When we come in Devar Mitziyah Zechad Merubim Kiyatziyah Shnaim, and for many things the payments for one is the same as paying for two. Minim Saruni Mishtachar come the run is going to gain out of this, so you should also do this Yashvito. And therefore you don't have a right for Dina de Marmet. Koto Chatzushnafim Bechayvin also Livnoso, the wall of a chutzah which falls down, we obligate him to rebuild it. Adar ba'amos b'cheskes, fine, until 4 amos. Chayim los livnos adar ba'amos to the hachasad that has a because it's enough for damage of seeing. This is what Rash says. Livnoso, to build it. Ad shar ba'amos b'cheskes shenasun, until 4 amos is this assumption that he gave. Rashi says, Im omer ha'achla la'achar shabano an yasisu mishali. If one person says to the other, Shabano ani, after it's built, after it's been built, ani yasisim I made him for myself. Shalo rata zealous. This guy didn't want to help me. But Tavo Chati Yatin is asking, demanding half the payment, half the cost. Mazel Omer Nasat Ichel Kenem, and this guy says I pay him my portion, then he would be believed. He believes that I paid half. Adar Mamos, until Ar Mamos Becheskas, and also an assumption they did. Ad Shiabi Raya Shalonas, until he brings the proof that he didn't give. Ad Shiabi Rashi says, Atove, until the demander brings Adam Shatabu, that he demanded him below, not saying he didn't give low. Like even the Tove of the Chov of Lisayo, since it's an obligation for him to help, Mifshap L'Cholgo, and this judgment is revealed to everyone. Lo Hayabona Mishaloi, he wouldn't build for himself, Allah Hayab Masoik, Allah Bba Basra, and he would scream at him in Bezdin, and therefore it doesn't make sense really your claim that he didn't help. Midal Amos from 4 Amos and upwards, and so we don't really obligate him. Then, okay, we don't obligate him 4 Amos is how far he goes. If he added another wall next to those above 4 Amos, even though he didn't put on the roof, Magagalin as a coal, we roll everything on him, he has to pay even above. Some of the other one builds above 4 amos. One person didn't want to help him. With his making it higher. Some of the other person brought a second wall. Kenegik goes the opposite this wall. In order to make a skafan and to add on to a roof. Mikos goes from one wall to the other. After Bishul and Nasan and Lavadayan, I took as though he still hasn't put on the roof yet. Magalgon is the goalie, roll everything on it. The goalie died to the Nichalev Gagbas the Hech. He's revealed his thoughts that he's good with the raising of the other wall because he's put a wall next to it and showing he wants to make a building. So now he doesn't want above 4. Even though normally he wouldn't be obligated, but he's shown he's different, he wants above 4. And then the Mishnah concludes, not in the assumption that he didn't give until he brings the proof that he did give. Rashi says, because and Baal Rishon the Tova, the first one comes and claims in the din to judgment. Rishon, after he put his wall next to the first wall. But Omer says to them, Tanli give me the portion of Masha BC on the part which I agree is higher, which I couldn't originally claim for you. But Zamar on the Sati Kalki, and this one says I already gave my portion. Ain't Namani wouldn't be believed. That will be Adam unless it brings Adam. Sheina Mishpat that goal of the whole, because this judgment is not revealed to everyone. But actually, if I go Bezdin, Anil Gos, Litin, until Bezdin obligates him, he's not given it's not made to be given. It's not no one, it's not standing to be given. Omnis Lokush says, Hakavez man, the Kaver, when it sets up a time for his friend, Romelo Pratichel Bezosman, and it says, I paid you within the midst of the time, meaning I paid you before the deadline. Zman, Bezosman, no, Ainanam, he's not related. Well, Levi, she Burb Zmanu, has Halavai, they should be paid in the right time, and that he's for sure didn't pay before the time. Abai Rabbi Rabbi say to get both say, Avinish, the part that goes Mimnate, sometimes that people pay within the midst of the time, before the time's up. Zimna the Misram, sometimes he happens to get money. Omer Azel of Pro, he says, I'll go and pay. Akamezman the Kavera rashes Bamilba Shovo with the lender which lent him. And we see he says, I'll go pay money. Go pay the money because I found it. There's Rava and Abaye. They shouldn't be bothering me. Tanan, we learned in our Mishnah, Mechaz L'Shanas and Aji Yavrei Shalonas, and his assumption that he gave until he brings a proof that he didn't give. Heichidam, what's the case? Ilay Medam really practical, but Zim, if you say I paid you at the time, she does this partially, could say I paid. What's the problem? Mechaz L'Shanas, and it's positive he's Mechaz that he gave it. He's claiming he didn't pay. I mean, he's claiming he paid already. So what's, one person says you owe me money, and the other says he paid already. How could you make him pay without any more proof than that? Besides, El Lab, when they pratik with Osman doesn't mean rather isn't it that he paid saying I paid you within the time. I'm of it in the department of Osman. What do you see people do pay in time in the midst of the time or before the deadline? Shani Haka, the cold stuff of the Sapa, Zimni. Here's different than every single row is its time. Meaning each one you have to pay, each row of bricks you have to pay for. Tashma Babezel Shalanas, and his assumption that he didn't pay until he brings a proof that he did pay. Hey Kidam, that was talking on the Sefer. It's actually see Rashi. Yilam Midam Lepartif was money. If you say I paid you at the time, it's not going on the Resha. Kisha Hashlamtas Gova Ariamas when he finished the height of 4 amos. Pshito, that's Pasha the name that you believed. And back and still in the first step. Shahari Zutainus Monolith beyond this is the claim of you have a money in your one of mine is in your hands. But how long and look up the other claim and saying I don't have anything of yours in my hands. I don't know you, I paid you already. Allah Domnului Pratif with money, rather than if he paid, he said I paid you in the midst of the time. Couldn't show Shlomo before you finish the 4 amos. That would be with Tosman. And the Gemara says no, it's not called Tosman. It's really every layer is a new Chiyav, and you could pay. It's called the time for that layer. Tashma mi Seifa, and the Gemara is saying proof from the Seifa, but Chazal Shalonas and the assumption that he didn't give. Back in the Gemara, but Chazal Shalonas, you have very Shalonas until he brings the proof that he did not give. What's the case? Was man if he said I paid him at the time? Am I low? Why not? He paid him at the time. Why can't he say that I gave it? With those money man, there must be it's talking about. He paid him in the midst of the time, before the time's up. The part because Zimni. What do you see? The people that don't pay in the midst of the time. They don't pay before the time is up. That's why this guy's not believed. Rashi says, "Ben Misef because there's no son. Alma Elam Dama Lepartif was money paid him at the time. Because then if you should around the Escos, when I finish my wall, we adopted common this Fayavti. I know how much I was obligated to say because I was supposed to pay to help with your raising up because I built the wall all the way up, and now I know I'm going to be higher now because I've shown that I like that part because I'm going to put a roof and everything and build a building with his wall, so I have to pay for it now. Okay." The Gemara says, so meaning why, if it's at that time, so then for sure he's chayav. That must be before that time. Yeah, but for sure he's believed. That must be said before that time, and that's why he's not believed. The Gemara says, Shani Achadam Miyem the Mechayev. The Rabbanan, no, it's years different. He says, who says the Rabbanan are going to be chayav? They're going to make me obligated in court. Rashi says, Hilka Kafilu Achabrati for Hilam Ratichu was money that even if he says I paid at the time, Lo Mehem is still not believed. Because he's assuming he's going to get off and they're not going to pay him. Rapuna back in the Gemara, Rapuna Brady Yeshua, Abdi Kabai, Rabbi did like a Bai. Rabban says a person does pay because many my bravashi of Grace Lakish, my vash is like Grace Lakish. Vehicle to Grace Lakish like Lakish that they people do not pay Tosmim. I feel me ask me even from Yasomim, Bafagab Domer Marvin the master said, Habali Bar the Nifsi Somin Le Par of Shua, the one who wants to pay from the property of Yasomim should not pay except for the Shua, he has to pay a Shua. Chazaka lo avin inish the bar because there's a chazaka that a man doesn't pay in the midst of time. So even though normally when you try and take something from a yisomim, make them pay for their debts of the father or whatever, you would have to use the shua. You have to make them swear and swear that I don't know any reason why this thing shouldn't be paid. But here there's an assumption. You don't even have to do that because we know for sure that there was a loan. He couldn't have possibly paid it to Totzman and the chazaka and love and understood part because of him. Okay. Rashi says, "People me ask me, in Mazel of the Loba died, or the borrower, Betosim the man within the midst of the time, and the time's gone up. Go to a minute. There's so many requires he collects his obligation from the orphans, below shul without swearing. Below Chayshinas don't prefer it. Sorry, we're not concerned that maybe he paid it already, and the star for whatever reason was left in his hands because it can't be paid until before the time's up. Tiboilach Zman. He asks a question. He asked him after the time, and he says, and I paid you within the time. Mahu, what's the law? We say in the place of the chazaka, we say, or why should I lie? Rashi explains the Shakir. If I want to continue, I paid you at the time right now. Time's up. I could have said I paid you now. Therefore, when he says I paid you before the time, Neman be he be believed with the shvua, or he should be believed with the shvua. The problem is it's a chazaka that you didn't. No one pays within the time. So take other word I'm reading because we already have it before. We are reading b'macha wazaka, mali l'shakir. We don't even know that I'm reading mali l'shakir.